Now let's move it on to the next position. Fantasy football running backs, starts, sits, waiver plays, streams, daily fantasy sleepers, all that stuff. Let's just dig right in. We got the Denver Broncos versus New York Jets. Gordon is a start. Lindsey, even if he plays, is a sit. Gore is a sit for me. Arizona Cardinals versus the Carolina Panthers. Kenyon Drake is a start. Edmonds, although I like him some weeks, this is not the week for me. I sit him. And Davis, I like him for Carolina. I think he'll get in the end zone for sure. Start him. Baltimore Ravens versus Washington football team. Ingram is a start. Gibson is a sit. Dobbins is a sit, although if you're playing daily fantasy, he could be a decent player for you. Cleveland Browns versus Nick Chubb. Cleveland Browns versus Dallas Cowboys. Nick Chubb is a start. Kareem Hunt is a start. Now, I have a poor computer projection on on Kareem Hunt, but I think that the Cleveland Browns will involve Hunt because it's going to be a little bit higher scoring. I think they're going to involve him more in the passing game, so he is a start for me. Ezekiel Elliott is a start. Indianapolis versus the Chicago Bears. Taylor and Hines are both starts for me. Hines more so as a daily fantasy sleeper or a waiver wire stream or somebody like that. Montgomery I have a bad projection on, but because Tariq Cohen is injured, I don't love the depth at running back. You might actually see some more Cordero Patterson playing up and lining up at running back. So keep an eye out for that. But Montgomery, I think consolidation of touches there and snap share, I think it goes up for him. So I think you can take a risk on him this week. But like I said, computer projection, sit. Jacksonville, James Robinson is a start. Chris Thompson is a sit. Mixon and Bernard for me are both sits, although Bernard has a nice daily fantasy projection. So if you want to roll the dice, you can play it. I'm not going to put him in my lineups. The Los Angeles Chargers versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Austin Eckler is a start. Kelly is a sit. Keep an eye out. Also, Joshua Jackson at some point will be back. Let's see what his impact is on Kelly's snap total. Let's see. Who else do we have? Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones are both actually starts for me, but that is a risk. Jones I do have as a higher projection. Fournette would be more of a daily fantasy sleeper type guy. Minnesota Vikings versus Houston Texans. We have Dalvin Cook as a start. Madison is a sit. David Johnson is a start. Duke Johnson, if he can play, is a sit. New Orleans Saints versus Detroit Lions. Alvin Kamara is a start. Kyler Murray, I'm sorry, not Kyler Murray, that would be wrong. Latavius Murray is a sit. You got Adrian Peterson, Swift, Kerryon Johnson, whoever for Detroit. I think it's a sit. This is going to be a passing day for Detroit. Pittsburgh versus Tennessee. Once again, everybody, you don't want to take this decision into Tuesday if you don't have to. If you have reasonable other options, I suggest you play the conservative approach and make sure you get points. The last thing you want is for a bunch of positive tests on Monday and this game to be postponed outright. You'll lose your fantasy game if that happens. But all things being equal, if you believe that they can play, Connor is a start, Snell is a sit, Henry is a start. Man, two really good running backs involved in this crap. That sucks. Seattle Seahawks versus Miami Dolphins. Carson is questionable at this point. He would be a start. If he isn't playing, then Hyde would be the start for me. Howard is a sit, but Gaskin, because I have a bad projection on him, but I think he beats that projection because Miami will need to score points. That means more passing and more checkdowns to Gaskin. I think he is a definite start this week. New York Giants versus Los Angeles Rams. Freeman is a sit. I think he's going to be better this week than he was last week. He'll get more touches. He's more integrated in the offense. But I want to see him put it together on the field before I insert him in a lineup. Daily fantasy, though, I have no problem with that. Gallman, everybody else, Deion Lewis is a sit for me for the Giants. Henderson is a start, and Malcolm Brown is a sit for the Los Angeles Rams. Buffalo Bills versus Las Vegas Raiders. Singletary is a start. Moss would be a sit, so much so that I don't even have him listed there. And then, let's see, the Raiders, Josh Jacobs is a definite start for me this week, and I stay away from everybody else for the Las Vegas Raiders. New England Patriots versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Sony Michel is a sit. James White, assuming he plays, is a start, and I stay away from Burkhead this week. Edwards-Helaire is a start for me. It's a bottom-line start. I don't love starting running backs against the Patriots, but he's a start nonetheless. Philadelphia Eagles versus the San Francisco 49ers. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, both sits. Raheem Mostert, if he can play, is a start. McKinnon, he does not have an injury designation at this point, so he is a comfortable start for me. If Mostert doesn't play and it's like Jeff Wilson, go ahead and start Jeff Wilson. I think you get two solid running backs from San Francisco every week and including this week. Atlanta versus Green Bay. Gurley is hypothetically a start, although I wonder if Brian Hill will be more integrated because I think he just looks better to me, honestly. But Todd Gurley, Atlanta's going to try to play ball control, even though that's not their identity. That's what they're going to do. Atlanta, I don't like the coaching staff there. I'll leave it at that. Aaron Jones is a start. Jamal Williams is a sit. For running backs, if you're desperate, if you want to play some daily fantasy sleepers, if you need a stream play, Nyheim Hines versus Chicago, I think because the Chicago defense is so good, the Colts are going to have to integrate Nyheim Hines in the passing game more than they have in the last 2 weeks. So I like him as a daily fantasy sleeper. Freeman versus the Rams, again, I'm not going to put him in lineups, but daily fantasy sleeper, I like him. Gaskin, I would have no problem playing him. He's available on a lot of people's waiver wire. And Carlos Hyde, keep an eye on that Chris Carson injury designation. If Carson can't go, I think Hyde is a slam dunk play this week. All right, let's move it on to another position.